Thank you, everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone to the City of Lawrence Common Council Code Review Committee meeting. Today is November 18th, 2020, and the time is approximately 5:36. The first thing that we need to discuss today that is on our agenda item is proposal number 13, amending the Lawrence Municipal Code to establish non-discrimination policies in employment, housing, and city contracting. That proposal has been sponsored by Councilman Denny, and I believe Councilman Denny, if he's on to, I believe he's on. I don't see every.
I'm here.
Okay. Yes, yeah. Councilman, if you could start us off, thank you for being here. I apologize, I don't quite see everyone. If you can start us off by just kind of speaking kind of to the proposal and what gaps or holes that this amendment kind of brings Lawrence to.
Sure. All right. Thank you, Councilor Giles. I appreciate you inviting me to speak on this tonight and the time you're giving to this. As you look through, it's a rather lengthy ordinance, and so I see our council attorney, Ms. Wheeler, is in attendance this evening. So if there's some of the legal side, I may defer to her for some help, as she obviously reviewed the legal portions of it. If you're looking at the actual ordinance, the portions that are being amended or added are in red in your document that you might have in front of you. And so there's basically the main points. I just want to touch on those to begin with. Is in the very first section, we're adding some line to add protection for certain classes. As of right now, our code doesn't offer protections for age, disability, United States military veteran status, sexual orientation, or gender identity. So one of the main beginnings in the conversation of this was, well, let's update that portion and make sure that that is in line with where it really needs to be and it should be. If you scroll down and look through that, we added some portions that clarify or defines and sets out some procedures if you feel there are. If there is a discriminatory practice, there wasn't a definition necessarily within our code of what that was, and so we define that, and within a time frame of when this actually should take place, so or begin the enactment, which is December 31st, 2021. Or excuse me, let me back up there. Where you could go by December 31st, 2021. The Board of Public Works and Safety could report to the Common Council all matters that it's taken under advisement. So if there was any complaints filed to this or filed, we would hear it also at the Common Council level. The ordinance also asks that the city to do business with assign contracts or do business with other organizations that we're going to do business out who have similar non-discrimination policies. So I think one of the questions that's come back, and as I've spoke with a few people about this, what's the whole purpose? What was the impetus? And so this was a conversation that began really more than a year ago. And I think we could see this if you look back to 2018, when Amazon was looking for a place for its large headquarters. One of the conversations was economic development and where if they put such a large facility, their employees would live and feel welcome and how they would enjoy the community. So this is part of it. We're just being proactive to attract large businesses. So I think there's an economic development attraction portion to this. We're looking for areas that can attract and support businesses. And at the end of the day, it's really codifying our beliefs so that these businesses that are interested see that and know what to expect in the city of Lawrence. The other conversation that we've been having throughout, this whole year, even in the Finance Committee and other areas, is updating the code in general. speaking to, code involving contractors, all the way down to what type of code if your dog licenses. If we're going to do that, I feel that the very first place to start is with human dignity, which is the most important area that we can address and take a look at. So this code addresses some of the holes and the gaps that I think that we all think may exist within the current ordinance. And like I said, I could leave it to Ms. Wheeler to address any of the legal side to it. But I do want to add just one side note that I hadn't thought of and that was kind of brought to me, and that is this proposal is not meant to address any grievance that somebody may feel is in the administration currently, or that somebody brought forward and thinks we need to codify this in order to do that. The conversation here began more than a year ago on bringing this forward. So that's not the purpose. There's no gotcha moment to this ordinance. It's really to codify our beliefs and modernize our ordinance so that we're in line with where we feel we should be.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Councilman Denny. I truly appreciate that. That explanation of why we felt that that it's needed to expand upon our existing code. I guess we'll open this up for anyone who would like to ask any additional questions. If not, I would call for a vote to move this to full council.
Christina, is it the only thing that I got was on the agenda for proposal 13, but I don't see a red line version where what Sean just referred to. That I didn't get that. You're muted.
You're muted.
I also did not get a red line version, but I think the copies we received were all clean copies.
All right, can you hear me now?
Barely.
Well, I'll yell. Is that any better?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to lean over the microphone in my laptop. I'm sorry, I apologize for that. I sent Kathy a red line, and then she asked me for a clean version, and I made the mistake of presuming that she sent you both the red line and the clean version. I did not realize that wasn't included in your packet because I gave her both things because I know you didn't want to see the red line. I'm happy to send an email right now if you'd like. I can just do that in a couple clicks, I think.
I did just do that for Councilor Chevlot and Rismaroff.
All right, thank you.
Personally, I feel that the clean copy we have, I feel is appropriate, and that's fine for me.
Yeah, I mean, officially that is what we should be passing and not the red line version. But again, I know you all like to see it, and I do too, so you can tell what's changed.
Yeah, that's it. All right, thank you.
Sure.
I add to that just slightly. If you look on section B on the very first page where it says by December 31st, that's the first added word and goes all the way down to the whole rest of that section. And then section 2, 3, and 4 are not in the red line version.
Okay.
Or the older.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that. If everyone is comfortable with that and are no further questions, then I would like for us to move forward, call for a vote for recommendation to full council. Is there no?
Yeah, I'll make a recommendation. I'll make a recommendation.
All right.
Second.
Second, all right. It has. We have a motion that Councilman Chevlot has made a motion. It's been seconded by Council Maria, I think, Rosvoff, and I'd like to call a roll call vote. So we'll start off. Kind of just going down my screen here. We'll start off with Councilman Chevlot.
Sorry, yes.
Yes. Councilman Whitfield.
Yes.
Councilman Denny. I think he's muted as well.
Well, it's just members of the committee.
Committee, Tyrell,
Oh,
but
that's
thank you
right.
for
I'm looking.
asking.
Look, it's too many of you guys on the screen. I'm sorry. Actually, it's just us. It's just us three, isn't it?
And Miss Whitfield, I think, is she in this?
No. Oh, no, Maria. I'm sorry.
Yes. Yes. And thank you for all the hard work on this. I'm glad it's time for it.
All right. Your vote, please.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. All right. So it's passed. And myself, yes. So it is passed 4 to nay, the 4 to nay to move this to full council. Thank you, guys. All right, we'll get this a little cleaner next time. Let's see. All right. Next item on our agenda this evening is proposal number 14, which is amending Title 3, Article 2, Chapter 4 of the City of Lawrence Municipal Code with respect to street closures. This particular proposal was, I'm trying to pull at the bottom here. I'm sorry, guys. I'm kind of struggling a little bit going back and forth to screens. Can someone has that up and tell me who the sponsor of this one was again, please?
That's myself,
and
Deb.
Chef Locke.
This one is Councilor Whitfield.
Yes. Can you please speak a little bit about this and the need of this of proposal 14?
May I have my counterpart go ahead and speak to that, please?
Sure.
Yes.
I'm the computer.
Can you guys hear me okay? I'll go ahead,
Yes.
Chief. Oh.
No, I just unmuted so I could jump in if necessary. Deputy Chief Bigsby can explain this very well and for this much needed proposal.
Yeah, so the reason why we have brought this up, I guess recently, and it's happened in years past, we haven't had a designated ordinance as it pertains to no parking. When we have the 4th of July, there's typically signs put up just saying it's a parade route, but it's not restricting parking. And some people are parking along the route, and then we're having to have, it kind of breaches our security as we try to prepare for the parade. It also is going to be helpful for the farmers market and some of the other events that we have around the city, because a lot of people are still parking on some of the routes that we try to clear up. We've never had an ordinance like this put in place. So we were looking to try to get something so at least we can give an advance notice to people that there is going to be an event coming through whatever neighborhood that they live in or in and around the city. It also addresses issues as it pertains to DPW wanting to do snow removal in a lot of the communities. They're having to go around cars. They're not being able to plow. I know Cherie can probably speak on this a little bit more. But they're not being able to plow streets correctly since there's cars still along the route that they're trying to take. So we think this would be, like I said, all around beneficial. So we're not trying to track people down like we did with another event that we just had just recently over there at Civic Plaza. It appears like we're probably going to have more events there at Civic Plaza and or around the city. And so we at least want to get ahead of the ball so that we don't have people parking where they're going to have their much needed event.
Okay.
Thank you, Deputy Chief.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. That gives a clear understanding. Any of fellow councilors have any questions pertaining to this proposal? As I see none, I would ask for a motion to move to full council.
I'll make a motion to move.
All right. It's been moved and seconded to move proposal number 14 to full council. I'd like to now do a vote, and we can do a roll call vote all the council. One moment, guys. I'm sorry. I am seeing all of you guys. One moment. Give me a second. All right. Think. Councilman Chevlot.
Yes.
Yes. Councilman Whitfield.
Yes.
Councilman Romersfoss.
Yes.
Sorry for butchering your name. And myself, Terrell Dodd, yes. So it's been moved to second and moved to full council as 4-0.
Thank you.
All right, next agenda. Yes. Okay, I thought someone says. Next item on the agenda moving forward is proposal number 15, amending Title II and Title V of the City of Lawrence Municipal Code, updating the building code, listings and licensing of contractors in the use of public right-of-ways. If we can go ahead and have someone from the city kind of speak on some of the major changes, some of the highlights, some of the things that we were able to update and change in our code.
So this is Sri, the city engineer for Lawrence. So my department has put together this proposal to change some of the ordinances that we currently have, which has not been reviewed for the last 25 plus years. So I assume everybody, all the council members received a copy of the memo that I put together. Got a chance to review those in detail. I kind of put as much as information as I can in there without going into the nitty-gritty details about it. But whatever you see in there is basically the highlight of these changes in the 3 code sections. So the building code itself is a complete rewrite of the based on the current Indiana residential code. So basically, we have cleaned it up quite a bit. We eliminated a lot of permits that is currently deemed unnecessary. We also consolidated a lot of permits into one, especially on the residential side. When the contractor comes to get it, they have one permit, then we can do all the inspections based on that one permit. So and we also separated the fees into 2 different sections, residential and commercial. And our goal is, once this proposal is approved to the full council, we'll publish those fees in our website, so it's very clear to the contractors and to the applicants what each permit is and how much fees it is, even before they come to us, because that's a lot of the confusion right now. It's so much harder to calculate the fees because it's so many criteria in there and it's been so old. I mean, honestly, this building code hasn't been reviewed in 25 plus years. And the very first time they wrote it, that's when it is. So a lot of the assumptions are still not even right. So, and a lot of the permits that we've been asking for the contractors, we don't even, I mean, no other community asks for those kind of permits, and we have been kind of very, very, strict on some of those, which is kind of, we are more like harassing the contractors and the applicants about, going after permits that we shouldn't be. So this building code itself, the new ordinance, the new section that's proposed, will eliminate a lot of the confusion almost. It's very crystal clear. Most of the contractors, if they know the Indiana residential code, which they will, they can easily follow this ordinance, and the fees are very, very comparable. We did a fee study. We looked at all the neighboring communities of our size, not Indianapolis, but like similar size communities. We had a consultant that helped with us, and also I have Renee here, who helped put together all the data for all the communities. We compared all the fees, so we did not raise the fee significantly. Like none of the permits got 2 times fees than it was supposed to. So it's basically if you look at 25 years, we raised it probably $50 for certain permits, and some of the permits that we see a significant increase is basically we combined multiple permits into one, and we added those permit fees into one permit fees. So our reinspection fees was $25. That was at 25 years ago. That changed from 25 to 75. Most of the other communities, this is 125, 150, but we thought 75 is a reasonable amount, considering the fact that we haven't raised it in 25 years, and just at least to cover our inspectors' rate and also our vehicle and administrative costs. So so that's pretty much on the building code side of that. That's most of the major changes. Unfortunately, I couldn't get you a redlined version of that. I know that the council attorney requested, essentially because this is a complete rewrite of the ordinance section. There was nothing to be redlined. We just scrapped the old one and we picked the Indiana Residential Building Code and we modified it to meet our needs. That's the reason why I couldn't give you a redline version of that. So the second, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Finish what you're going to say.
No, I think on the building code side, I'm pretty much done with what I wanted to say.
Okay. Is it possible to get this word out, maybe in the Lawrence Lift, and just in many ways possible? Because I think this is really important news that I think a lot of contractors have been waiting to see some action on, and so however we can spread this. I mean, just putting it up on our website without letting people know that it's gotten changed really doesn't.
Counselor, the goal to bring it to this council to do it earlier than January 1 is to get that word out. So we are not trying to enforce it until tomorrow. We are trying to enforce everything starting the January 1st. So even if the council approves it today, we have that month of outreach that we're going to do through websites, our social media.
Okay.
And another thing is we are also trying to launch the e-permitting side of that. That's going to start on the first week of January too. So all of these new changes, we are planning to launch it on the first week of January. So we'll have enough time to get the word out. And contractors are already aware. Every time they come to us, we have been telling them that some of this application permits they're asking us now, you won't need it in January, and they're being very happy about some of those already.
Good. And then my second question is, I'm assuming you did this, but just for the sake of everyone else, we've let Indianapolis know that we're modifying some of these things, haven't we?
We have not. We have not changed anything. The reason we didn't let them know is this has nothing to do with them. Their code is separate. Our code is separate. This does not cross-reference anything on them, and theirs doesn't cross-reference anything on ours. And so that's why we haven't. But once this is passed, we will make sure that the surrounding communities will be notified of the ordinance changes.
The reason I say that is again, it's just to be able to communicate to as many people as possible, so that when contractors are down at the city-county building, it'd just be good for the city-county code enforcement to be able to say, oh yeah, by the way, these changes in Lawrence, it's now there's a reciprocal, and I just think it helps that if they're made aware.
Absolutely. My plan is to send a memo out to Indianapolis code enforcement, and just like you see here, like a miniature version of the memo to send them out so they know that this is changed and they can let them contract this now.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Giles, Councilor Chevrolet, I have a question and a notation for you, if it's all right.
Sure.
I'm sorry, please go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, when Sri was talking about the effective date of January 1, I quickly pulled the proposal up, and it says it has the normal language that our proposals usually have, that they go into effect after passage by the council, publication if required, and the mayor's signature. So if the intention is that it goes into effect January 1st, we probably need to amend section 6 to say that.
Chris, I think, the reason why I thought January 1st should be a good date is because our e-permitting will be ready by then. To us, it doesn't matter if it goes into effect tomorrow, if it is easier that way. we can start. But we thought like all the new changes could be done at one time. That's the main reason.
And I have no problem, Shri, with your timing at all. I'm just saying it's not written that way. So if it's not a big deal and it's okay that it goes into effect on passage, great. If that causes a problem on your end, let's change it. But if not, that's okay too.
I would like to make a recommendation that we change it due to the fact that I really believe what Councilor Shevlock said. I really would like to make sure that we get the information out to all parties that be within our surrounding cities and everyone. So for me to vote on this, I would like to have that change amended in number 6, please, and it go into effect in January, and giving you enough time to notify everyone.
I would also concur with those thoughts.
Yes, I think that's what we're going to do. Let's actually I would entertain a motion though then to amend section 6 to state that this code would go into effect January 1st of 2021. Do I have a motion?
Yes.
I'll second.
A second. All right, perfect. It's been moved and seconded to amend proposal, number 15. I'm playing back and forth, I have it in front of me. To amend section 6 to state that the effective date of the code changes would go into effect January 1st, 2021. I will start off with the vote this time. I'll say yes. Councilman Shevlock?
Yes.
Councilman Whitfield?
Yes.
And Councilman Roscoff?
Yes.
All right, it's been moved, this passed recommendation to send amend proposal number 15. Now, I would entertain a motion to recommend proposal 15 to full council.
I'll make a motion.
Councilman Shevlock?
I'll make a motion. Yep.
Perfect. It's a motion, and it's been moved and seconded to move to recommend proposal number 15 to full council. I'll start off with the voting again this time. I say yes. Councilman Shevlock?
Yes.
Councilwoman Whitfield?
Yes.
Councilwoman Roscoff?
Yes.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. It's been passed 4-0 that we recommend proposal number 15 to full council. Awesome. All right, seeing nothing else on the agenda, this meeting is adjourned.